All right, so you've saved $100. Here are 7 ways that I have begun investing in my future that you can begin investing in your future. You don't need any experience. All you need is that $100 bill in your pocket. Let's start investing in your future starting right now. The question is your house an asset or a liability? What do you think? Literally 20% of all the dollars ever printed were printed since 2019. Experience. Reading books is great, but learning from your experience is how you do it. All right, number 1 is personal development books. There are so many good ones. I'm going to go over a few of my favorites because I think it's good to not just give recommendations, but also give a little bit of what the book is about to make you understand what's going on. First one, this is really kind of the beginning of almost everything I've done, is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I mean, it really, it's really simply put, it shows you 7 habits that can make you into the badass that you're supposed to be in this life. I want to go over one concept that I really, really enjoyed from this book. Actually, 2. First one is, the very first rule they talk about is being proactive. Now, most people in life do one thing, and that's react to life, react to everything that's happening to them. The reality is life can be this way. You're happening to life, not life is happening to you. That book really helped me understand that you can be proactive and not just react on what's happening in life coming at you. You can actually be proactive and make those situations happen. Okay, I want to go over the one concept I learned from this book, and this is the time management matrix. If you look at here, you can see there are urgent, not urgent, important, and not important. I remember taking every single phone call, every single client meeting, every single little bit to start business when I just started. And that was good for the start because you have to, put a foundation down. But once you get to a point where you don't need to take every single call, every single time, every single distraction, it's not even business-wise, scrolling through social media. That is definitely not important and definitely not urgent. These are things that really don't matter. Trivial busy work, time wasters, pleasant activities. Yes, I'm all about having some type of pleasure. Of course, I'm not, don't ever play. I'm all about working and playing, but working really, really hard so you can play and really enjoy the time off. But that busy work, oh gosh, going through emails, checking things, making sure things look nice on Excel, so many things like that. So when you can figure out what things are not urgent and not important, honestly, I've eliminated almost all of these. Checking email, I do once a day, maybe, usually not even that often, because I realize that if someone really needs to get a hold of me, they'll pick up the phone and call me. That means I know it's actually important. Okay, let's work backwards. So that's not urgent and not important. Let's go to something that is urgent but not important. Interruptions. Yes, interruptions are absolutely killer. They will kill your day. They will kill your energy. I remember being so excited for the day, and next thing I know, it's 4 p.m., and I've been interrupted for every single thing, and I haven't actually spent time on anything I wanted to spend time on. Does it sound familiar? Yeah, I've done that many, many, many dozens, hundreds of times, and I'm learning how to eliminate those not important interruptions. Then calls and meetings and popular activities. All these things that are obviously not important, but are either a phone ringing right in front of you or something that keeps on popping up. This is also something I've done. I have completely disabled almost every single push notification on my phone. My phone, I would say 95% of the time, is on silent. Not vibrate, not ringer, silent. If someone really needs to reach me, they can find me. If someone really, really needs to reach me, they'll leave a message, they'll send me a text message. But having all these push notifications on gets you distracted every single 5 seconds. I mean, how many push notifications do you receive per day? If I had them on, I would receive literally hundreds on every little app, every single thing is trying to vie for your attention. That's why you have to really be focused on the important things. Okay, so those are urgent, but I put urgent in quotes because a lot of these things are not urgent and not important. Okay, let's go to not urgent but important things, these things you should be focusing on. Relationship building, obviously, recognizing new opportunity, and planning. When was the last time you actually sat down and figured out, what am I going to do with the next few years of my life? Not just what am I going to do today, not just what I'm going to do tomorrow, but actually longer term in the future. Those are questions you should ask yourself, not every single day, obviously, but every so often to make sure you're on the right path. Because if you set a goal and don't check in with yourself and plan going forward, you're never going to accomplish that goal. Relationship building, obviously, your significant other, family, friends. The reality is, we are social human beings. We need to be around people. There's no such thing as the lone wolf who succeeds in any part of life. Even if they succeed money-wise, which to me doesn't mean very much, that just means you're able to create new business. It doesn't mean you've actually succeeded inside. And it takes private victory, which this book talks about. 7 Habits talks about how you need to have private victory in your own house before you can have public victory in front of others. So work on that private victory and work on building relationships and building your home, what's going on inside behind your 4 walls, behind your door before you do anything outwardly. And then recognizing new opportunities. How many times have you actually sat down and thought about what are the next opportunities I'm going to pursue? Are my eyes even open? Or are you so focused on working right here, what's right in front of you, you can't see what's past your hands. You can't see what's past your nose. It's really difficult when you're starting because it's all about what's happening right this second. But what about what's going to happen in the next several months, several years? That planning and recognizing new opportunities is the way you're going to be able to break through that. Okay, and then obviously the important and urgent things. Crises, pressing problems, deadline-driven products. This is why I give myself a deadline to accomplish pretty much anything. If I don't give myself a deadline, it starts seeping into the not urgent category. So if things are not urgent, I usually do not work on them. You know, how's the saying go? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're not seeing if you're not seeing terrible things happen right in front of you, a lot of times we don't act upon that. And that's why it's important to always set a deadline on, I'm going to accomplish this by this date. And if I don't accomplish it by this date, here's a marker I can tell that I'm on the right path. Because a lot of times you'll set lofty goals and not accomplish them. And that's okay. That just means you need to figure out, am I on the right path? If not, you need to change course and change that focus. Okay, so that is 7 habits. 7 habits super, super helpful. Help me understand not just how to be proactive, but also how to be a good person, not just to myself, but to those around me. And just because someone can make money and make good videos or make anything good business-wise doesn't mean they're a really good person. This really helps you holistically on becoming a really well-rounded person. Okay, next one is so good they can't ignore you. You ever heard the phrase, you need to pursue what you're passionate about, pursue what you love? Yeah, that's terrible advice. Pursue what is meaningful. Pursue is something you're really good at. Pursue something you have skill in. And the only way you can find out if you have skill in things is if you do them over and over again. The subtitle is Why Skills Trump Passion in the Quest for Work You Love. Yeah, how about you develop some skills? Because the reality is this. Once you develop competence in something, you start having confidence, and that is when you're actually excited, and the vitality and the excitement for life comes out. You can see people who are passionate and actually good at something. Oh man, they are a joy to be around. Someone who follows their passion or their love doesn't pay the bills. And you have to be pragmatic about a lot of things. I remember finishing college and thinking, how am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to pay these bills that are going to happen? And you know what? I worked on some skills and was able to figure out, direct sales are pretty good. Okay, next. Relentless by Tim Grover. I didn't go over our author here. This is Cal Newport. Cal Newport is really interesting because we'll go back to Cal for just a second. Cal advises to eliminate all social media from your life and your life becomes better. I can actually at times really do believe that because I do what pretty much everyone does. I compare myself to others, and that's one of the worst things you can do, especially social media. You can see all these rented Lamborghinis, super hot models, and all this lavish lifestyle that's not real, and that's not reality. So Cal Newport, he may have a point there. I may take him up. Okay, back to Relentless. From good to great to unstoppable. Tim Grover was he was one of the personal trainers for Kobe, rest in peace, and for Dwayne Wade. So both really good NBA stars. And it just really talks about how mindset is everything. If you can change your mindset, because when you go coach someone like Kobe Bryant, he has the skills. He has the work ethic. It's changing that mindset just a little bit, and you'll succeed. It's kind of like if you're on a plane, and the plane just goes 2 degrees off where it's supposed to go. You'll end up in a whole different city in a whole different country a lot of times because you didn't have your alignment perfect. Finding your alignment and making it perfect is what it's all about. Oh, he also coached Michael Jordan. How can I forget about it? I consider Tim Grover to be second to none in the knowledge of sports training, and he was an invaluable part of my training program. This is really good for physical stuff. Obviously, you can apply a lot of the sports and physical activities to mental as well, but also good for accomplishing your athletic goals. Okay, back to mindset. You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. It's really interesting. Jen Sincero was just a normal, run-of-the-mill, growing up woman in this nation. And she figured out, when you're empowered to do something, you can really make it happen. Financial empowerment from best-selling author, updated with a cheat sheet to create successful habits that stick. And it's all about habits. Most of what we do are habit-driven. What do you do when you wake up? Well, I usually go to the toilet and relieve myself. That's a habit. Well, it's kind of my body saying it. But after that, what do you do? To me, I usually, if things are going well, I grab the gym bag that I have already prepared the night before and head to the gym immediately. I don't even think about it. Because the reality is, once I start thinking about what I'm going to do, that's when I start want to sit down, lounge, do some reading, fall back asleep, all those things that I shouldn't do in the morning, I start doing. So the mindset of making money specifically, if you think you're going to live the same lifestyle as your parents, whether that be good, bad, or really awesome, you're probably going to do that. But the reality is you can change that. You have so much agency in this country. You have the freedom to become anyone you want to be. And once you change your mindset and create habits that coincide with understanding that actually it's a good thing if you make a lot of money because you can do a lot of good in the world with that money. That's where it is. So You Are a Badass at Making Money. Okay, last personal development book is 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Not financially based at all, and not really business based, but goes over some of the real ancient wisdom from different sources, and it really helped me solidify what I need to do in my life to be successful. Not just a business, but again, internally. Kind of if we go back to the 7 habits, it's not just about having money. It's not just about, conquering the next goal. It's about actually becoming the person you want to be inside your heart, inside what's going on. And it's not all ooey gooey. That's just becoming a better person for those around you. Because if you're a good person, if you focus on if I can focus on how I can become a good person, guess what? The person, my neighbor, the people around me, the people in my group, in my tight-knit community can see he's improving himself. I'm going to improve myself. There is so much motivation and so much inspiration when you see someone working on not the huge problems of the world, because I don't have very much control over those, but I have control over what's happening in my immediate circle, in my immediate life, and that's what we should be focusing on. One of the rules here is tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And telling the truth, once I figured out that telling the truth is going to create the best outcome no matter what the outcome is, even if the outcome in the immediate sucks, even if the outcome in the immediate is really something I don't want to deal with, the reality is the truth is always the best antidote. The truth is the best antidote for anything. What do they say? The best way to kill weeds is with really, really strong sunlight. We need to put sunlight on everything. I want transparency and truthfulness for everything. Everything. Okay, one other rule that I really like is Rule 10 is be very precise in your speech. Be precise in your speech. Don't say, la, la, la. Think about what you're going to say and say it. Make sure it's the truth and make sure it's actually what your sentiment is towards whatever you're talking about. If you can tell the truth and be precise in your speech, you're on the right path. Okay, so that's the first way to invest in yourself. Next one is personal development books. There are many I've read. As you can see, I'm definitely an avid reader. You need to start reading. The only way you can glean the tenets and glean the inspiration and motivation from authors is by reading them. No one's going to read this book for you. This is The Richest Man in Babylon, first personal finance book I think I ever read. And it talks about the ABCs of finances. Oh, I'm rich now. I got some money in there. It just talks about, it's the success secrets of the ancients, the most inspiring book on wealth ever written. The reality is, if you don't know how to ride a bicycle, how are you going to be able to ride a unicycle? Because the reality is, riding a bicycle is a lot easier than riding a unicycle. And sometimes making this financial journey of wealth building feels like I'm riding a unicycle, because it's not easy and it takes a lot of grit and a lot of sacrifice. I think that's the best way of putting it. And this book talks about how it takes a lot of sacrifice to make things happen in this life. Let's go over just a couple of things here. Save 10% of everything you make and put it away for when you have a deal. When I say a deal is when you have an opportunity to grow that money. And that's what the book talks about a lot. The only way you can really get into a place good financially is by spending less than you're taking in. If you make $10,000 a month, yet you're spending $10,000 a month, you really are a poor person. You've cracked the code on being a poor person. Spend just as much as you earn, and you are a poor person. Doesn't matter what fancy things you have. It matters what you keep. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. And that book definitely helped me with that. Okay, next book is Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. This book, again, is a lot of personal development, a lot of going back to you're bad at making money, is unlocking your mind to realize you can do this. And a lot of times you are destined to do this. You're destined to be so much more than you are right now. And who doesn't think about that? Am I really living up to my full potential? The answer usually is absolutely not. What can I adjust in my life? What can I adjust going forward to make sure I become that person? Become that person, that full potential. This book really helps you understand that riches are at hand. It's just a matter of you making the changes, you doing the things that will make these happen. There's only one person who's going to do it for you, and it's not anyone besides yourself. A couple other books I wanted to go over that I don't have physically, but I have in electronic version is The New Case for Gold. The New Case for Gold talks about how our financial system is in trouble. As we all know, we've printed how many trillions of dollars this last year? I mean, globally, we've printed so much more, but just the United States, 3, 4, 5 trillion. It's really absolute insane how much money we have printed, and gold is one of those things that can really help with that. So that's another book. The New Great Depression, Jim Rickards, same author there. This actually just came out in 2020 and was really helpful in helping understand who's going to be the winner. Again, the subtitles, winners and losers in a post-pandemic world. What's going to be the best investment strategy? What's going to be the best things to go forward in this post-pandemic world? Because a lot of people keep on saying, I want things to go back to normal. I think in reality, we're never going to go back to the 2019 normal. As much as I want it to go back to, I think I'm doing air quotes, normal, we live in a different world now. Different world. The schemes and the benefits of 2019 and previously, we're now in the roaring 20s, and the roaring 20s have a lot of opportunity and a lot of strife. So be prepared for both, and this book definitely illuminates what he believes is going to happen, and he's written a lot of good books on finance, and I've really liked all his books. Okay, and then lastly, of course, either it was The Richest Man in Babylon I read first, or it was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't recall, but I read this book quite a few years ago when I was a lot younger, and I didn't really understand most of it, but I did know one thing. I don't want to have to work for someone else. I don't want to have to give someone my time and trade that for money. That's the worst deal you can make with someone. I trade my time, which to me is absolutely invaluable and should be to you as well, for a little bit of shekels, a few copper and silver coins. The reality is there are so many concepts that rich folks teach their young ones that are not taught in the school system, that are not taught by middle class and poor people, because they simply do not know. It's kind of like the best kept secrets. And I've realized that the way people hold wealth over generations is by real estate. And real estate is something I'm really excited about. I'm not quite doing a deal in 2021 right this second because real estate prices are absolutely cuckoo. But I hope when the next time, go back to the last book, the New Great Depression, the next time the recession/depression hits, I am liquid and I am ready to go. That is for sure. Okay, so the personal finance books, personal development books and personal finance books have given me the opportunity to hear and make mentors like George Clason and Jordan Peterson and Robert Kiyosaki, my mentors throughout life that have helped me. And not that I can call them up on the phone, but the reason they write books is to disseminate to the masses. And anyone you want to be your mentor, can be your mentor, living or dead, because most of them wrote books if they were anybody important. Okay, number 3 is Bitcoin. Yes, I have a little bit invested in Bitcoin, not a ton. I'm really excited about it though, because I invested in 2017. And if you take, let's see, can we go to 2017? Yeah, I think I invested at $9,000 or $10,000 a pop, and now it's $32,000, which is pretty freaking awesome. So Bitcoin, again, the US dollar is in shambles. The US dollar is only losing power every single day. And even with $100, again, you can buy books, you can buy many books, you can also buy a little bit of Bitcoin because I believe it goes 7 or 8 decimal places out. So you can buy just a portion of a Bitcoin. It doesn't mean you share it with anybody. It means you own that part of the coin. So you're able to do it with, as you please. I've actually used this as a little bit of a savings hedge against inflation because inflation is between, 4 and 15%, depending upon how you calculate it. The government says 4%, but I think it's more so in the 10 to 12% range. So if you're losing 10% of your money, 10% of the purchasing power of your money every single year, I don't think Bitcoin is going to lose 10%. That's just my estimation. I'm not giving advice. I'm just simply saying I have invested in Bitcoin. I'm excited about it. And guess what? I will never sell it unless I absolutely have to sell it. Because that's the point. It's a store of value, not something I'm speculating on. I'm buying and holding. That is for sure. But you can do that, and it's $100. You can put $100, you can put $1,000, you can put $32,431, which is how much it goes for right now. But Bitcoin seems to be a really good store of value compared to US dollars. Next is gold. And I was just talking about the new case for gold, which is one of the books Rickards wrote. Now, gold is kind of a tough one, though, because it's, gold goes for between $18,000 and $2,000 an ounce. So $100, you can't really get there. But if you want to get an ounce of gold, which is the only thing I do myself, I don't do any of the fractional pieces. If you buy a fractional piece of gold for $100, $200, you're paying a huge premium. It's better just to save the money up and buy an actual ounce. You pay way less of a premium when you're buying that compared to the small things. So gold can be gold throughout, fiat money we've had for a very short amount of time. Gold we've had for how many thousands of years? Many, many, many thousands of years. It was here when the earth was formed, and it's going to be here long after you and I are both gone. And it has intrinsic value. Now, what can you actually do with gold? Well, a lot of things actually. It has a lot of industrial uses, as well as you can't create more of it. That's the benefit of Bitcoin and gold. You can't create more of it. You can only mine it. Fiat dollars, US dollars, guess what? They can print a few more trillion, and that just depresses people who have money in the savings. Yeah, you think your 1% interest rate is paying you anything? No. Inflation is eating your savings alive, and that's why it sucks to save money. Okay, so next thing would be silver. Silver is sometimes even a better bet compared to gold. It actually has gone up a little bit more percentage-wise. Obviously, it's a lot more inexpensive. Gold right now is about $1,800. Silver right now is about $26. Obviously, pay a premium. But with $100, you can buy almost 3 silver coins right now. And again, I've been buying silver for years now. I love silver. I wouldn't call myself a silver bug, but I definitely enjoy feeling and seeing the coins. There's something about how shiny it is. It's one of the shiniest metals. I really enjoy that. And again, same thing with gold. It's an inflation hedge. It has intrinsic value. They can only mine so much of it every single year. And what I like about this is with all the green revolution that's going on right now, all these energy companies, all these companies wanting to go green and carbon neutral by 2035, 2050, whatever it may be. Do you know what is a main component of a solar panel? A lot of precious metals, and silver is one of them. So I only imagine silver is going to go higher and higher. And to go back to gold really quick, the reason why the gold price is where it is right now is because it's absolutely manipulated by financial markets. I say that because the more and more a country wants gold, the less they want to pay for it, right? So places like Russia, China, the US, and all sorts of other countries want to accumulate gold because they realize that's real money. I mean, do you think China and Russia are buying gold hand over fist because they think it's a worthless investment? No. They think it's a worthwhile investment. That's why they're putting a lot of money into it. Most people just will never understand that, though, because, I can't buy anything with it. Yeah, wait until the economy crashes. Then come back to me. Again, silver and gold, super good hedges against inflation and have a lot of industrial uses. So the reason I'm putting money into it because I only see the price going up. Okay, this one's a little more practical. This is a webcam to do videos like this. And even if you don't make YouTube videos, you can at least start talking about your thoughts and getting comfortable on camera. The reality is this. If you want to make money on the internet, you have to be good in front of a camera. You have to be good in a video. You have to be able to talk for 24 minutes straight and be good at it. That's how you really get a following, get a tribe behind you, and You can do it for less than $100. You can use the software. It's called OBS. It's a free software. You can buy the camera, $69.99. This is really what it takes to get your foot in the door. And even if you don't post it on YouTube, even if you don't post it on social media, you can still at least record your thoughts so you can look back. And I can look at videos. Yes, I've been making videos since 2009. I can look back at videos and see young Max and what he thought. And oh man, let's just say it's a good thing that people mature over time, because there were a lot of things I wanted when I was a lot younger back then that I'm very glad did not come to pass. I remember wanting this big SUV. I wanted a big SUV. For what reason? I don't know. My friend had one, and I thought it was cool. And I look back and think, wow, I drive so little now. What would be the point of having such a fancy car? It's a good thing that did not happen, and I'm thankful for those around me who discouraged me on that. So, but anyway, a webcam can record your thoughts. It can get you so many opportunities. And for work, I have to use it a lot for video conferences. So that's that. Okay. And then lastly is a journal. Yes, this costs like $10 or $15. Bought it at, I forget, the bookstore nearby. And just like the webcam, you want to document your journey. You want to document your goals. Because the reality is, if you don't write down your goals, if you don't actually look at them, you will never accomplish them. $15, $20 is a very, very worthwhile investment. Okay, buy a pen too. That's another buck. But the reality is this: if you don't ever write down your goals, you're never going to accomplish them. If you just think about them while you're in the shower and think about what could be, you're not going to accomplish them. Buy a journal, start writing out your thoughts, writing out your goals, and I promise you, if you stick to that for a decent amount of time, you will see that writing things out actually makes things come to life. You know, until it actually leaves your mouth, it's not into the universe. None of your goals. If it's all up here, you will not succeed. You need to bring it out in reality, bring it into the universe, and put it on paper. You do those few things, I bet you will accomplish a lot of the goals you write down. I want to make sure to remind you guys to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.